Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So there's been a little bit of drama, one could say. It's kind of between the Mexican president and President-elect Donald Trump after his remarks at the press conference at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been seeing the stuff that he's been saying recently about Greenland, about the Panama Canal, about Canada, about Mexico. And one of the things he said yesterday was, he said, we're going to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. So I'll play the clip so you guys can hear what he had to say. And then what I'll do is I'll play the clip that was basically like her response to his, his talk about the Gulf of Mexico, possible change to Gulf of America.
Have to be done. Same thing with Mexico. We have a massive deficit with Mexico, and we help Mexico a lot. They're essentially run by the cartels, and can't let that happen. Mexico's really in trouble, a lot of trouble. Very dangerous place. And we're going to be announcing a future date pretty soon. We're going to change, because we do most of the work there and it's ours. We're going to be changing, sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name. And it's appropriate. It's appropriate. And Mexico has to stop allowing millions of people to pour into our country. They can stop them. And we're going to put very serious tariffs on Mexico and Canada, because Canada, they come through Canada too. And the drugs that are coming through are at record numbers, record numbers. So we're going to make up for that by putting tariffs on Mexico and Canada, substantial tariffs. And we want to get along with everybody, but they have to. It takes two to tango. We're approaching the dawn of America's golden age. It's going to be a golden age for America. We have things that nobody else has. We have more natural resources. We have, number one, nobody knew that until I came along. I made us number one. We were number three. I made us number one in a very short period of time in drilling.
I love it. I think it's great. But anyway, I think it's hilarious. I like it. Sounds good. Gulf of America's got a nice ring to it. But anyway, after him having said that, the Mexican president came on the TV at a conference that she was attending, and she had some choice words that were kind of like a response to him saying that we're going to recall, or we're going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And I'm going to put translated words below it. It's going to be in Spanish, but you'll see the English translation on the bottom, because it's just kind of funny, because she's like, okay, well, I'm going to say something similar now. So anyway, check this out.
Digo, obviamente, Golfo de México es reconocido el nombre por Naciones Unidas, es un organismo de Naciones Unidas, pero el siguiente, ¿por qué no le llamamos América Mexicana? Se oye bonito, ¿no? ¿Verdad que sí? Desde 1607. La Constitución de Apatzingán era de América Mexicana. Entonces, vamos a llamarle América Mexicana. Se oye bonito, ¿no? Y Golfo de México, pues, desde 1607, y además está reconocido internacionalmente. Bueno, aprovecho antes de, porque sé que me lo van a preguntar. Yo creo que ayer el presidente Trump le malinformaron, con todo respeto al presidente Trump, porque yo creo que le informaron que en México todavía gobernaba Felipe Calderón y García Luna, pero no, en México gobierna el pueblo. Bueno, adelante.
She's got nice hair. I wonder what kind of conditioner she uses. Also, that map looks suspiciously like Pangea. I'm just kidding. That's a 17th century map of North and South America, and that's why it looks like that, because back in the day, people couldn't make maps for Now, I don't know if he was being serious, if President-elect Donald Trump was being serious about renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, or if he was just talking smack, because he likes to do that, obviously. So it's possible, I suppose. There's only one way to find out. I mean, you have to wait to see after inauguration to see if he wants to pursue that or not. But it was definitely an interesting way to respond for her. And it wasn't rude, but you could definitely tell she was like not amused by what he said. Now, the president of Mexico's name is Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, and the map that was projected behind her was actually authored in 1607, and it labels a rough drawing of North America. It's labeled as America Mexicana or Mexicana or Mexican America, and it also labels the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of Mexico, which at the time was already a very key maritime navigational reference point. At the event that she was at, she also displayed a separate 19th century map that was showing that the territories that used to belong to Mexico, including what are today California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. Now the Mexican president and President-elect Donald Trump have been kind of going back and forth at each other because the president-elect had brought up the idea of threatening tariffs on Mexican imports if the country didn't do more to stop the flow of immigrants to the United States, because he wants to try to curb that massive flow, because a lot of the immigrants that are coming into the United States are coming from the southern border and coming from South America in general. And he's placing a large amount of the responsibility on Mexico to slow that process down. Now, meanwhile, the Mexican president said that Mexico is working to enforce their borders to intercept migrants that are en route north. And then she cited that there was a sharp drop in illegal immigration at the U.S.-Mexico border. I don't know where she got those statistics from, but I don't know. If you want to, you can do the research on that if you want to figure out what the real case is. If you believe her or if you want to see if that's not the case. That's up to you. Now, President-elect Donald Trump has also said that Mexico is run by the cartels, but that's up to you to decide. I'm not saying that's true. She's also claimed that the country is not being ran by the cartels and that they are addressing the security problem. Again, that's, if you want to, you can arrive at your own determination. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm just saying that's what, President-elect Donald Trump said, and that's what she said. So ultimately, Sheinbaum does believe that there's going to be a good relationship, and she said that President Trump has his way of communicating, meaning that he's got a certain way that he talks to people and a certain way that he carries himself, but she still believes that they're going to be able to get along. So that's a good thing. Also, I learned today that the Mexican president is 62 years old. She looks good for 62. I don't know what she's been doing, but maybe it's the food. We could all hope to age that gracefully. Obviously, she looks younger than me, so I need to figure out whatever she's doing. Maybe she's taking stem cells or something. I don't know. Apparently, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has actually proposed a bill that would federally fund the required changes to maps if the need should so arise. I'm sure ultimately they'll be able to find a way to get along and work together in a way that's going to benefit both of the nations, but I'm sure there will be no shortage of back and forth, especially once he takes office.